What's up, everybody? It's your favorite only Dinobot who can utilize their weapon in dinosaur mode's favorite nerd. And today we are looking at Planet X's Swoop, and we're going to wrap up and talk about the Dinobots from Planet X at length. But let's talk about him first. He comes with these two kind of Swoop accessories. They're nice enough. They plug in under the wing, and then I think you can have the swords go up top here. He comes with two swords as well. They're right here. I don't know if they plug into the top or not, but it's kind of weird that there's no translucent here when the other ones have kind of had the translucent, so it kind of throws off the kind of uniformity of the set. That's a bit of a bummer. I guess they made a design change, you know, because he was the first one released, so that stinks. And then this bit, and this does nothing. It's just painted, which is fine. They're fine. This is more problematic than the other. Well, let's talk about this guy real quick. So the head, we got this is a problem. I have a problem with this piece sticking together for me, but you got the hinge here, and then you have another hinge there for this piece that you can't really use for the dinosaur mode because it throws off the sculpt, and then the jaw opens to about there, which isn't great either. We got the light piping for the eyes, which is fine. His head sculpt is a little cute unit. And then we have wings. They get you up to there, nothing out, and then they get you to here. This is a tight little pin, and then down to there. And then this one goes up to there and down to there, like the full Monty, if you will. Swivel here for the claws, and hinge there for the claws, so that's fine. And then the feet, you got a hinge here up into the leg, and then they come, then they just come down, and then they have a hinge here at the claw there. All the paint and stuff looks good. He's significantly smaller than the rest in dinosaur mode, but I think that's pretty accurate to the game. And it's pretty good. We got a little paint outside the lines there, but yeah, otherwise kind of fair enough. He's not as impressive as the other ones, like when you just like take a look at him. But when you really start to mess with him, like there is you know, there's a fair amount of attention to detail that's going on with him. All right, so set your accessories to this. I bet you that's how you're supposed to store them on them. So, food for thought. There you go. All right, this fella. This isn't too complicated or anything. It's pretty straightforward. Let's just get started. I think you got to have these down and fold these up and these down. Same on this side. And then bring these forward. And then untab the arms and pull those down. Fold the heel spur back. Fold that little hook thing in. Same on this side. And swivel them around at the thigh. And then this is the only part that gets a little bit involved. You just open this part up here. You untab here, bring it up to the next notch. Same on the other side. And then the backpack is on a double hinge because that's what they love, and I'm not knocking them for it. Bring that up and then plug it back in. Hands. Wonder how you do those. Probably like that. And then you can get those sorted, clean that up a taste. Rotate the shoulder pads up. This has already come down, and then the head is exposed. Bring the wings back like this, and then like this, I think. Something like that. And there you have him. I will say, I don't remember how much he was, but he does feel a little like less than $100, and I'm sure he's around that. We're going to talk about that a bit more. Head ball joint on a ball peg, so you get the hinge, good up, good down, good light piping, good paint all throughout, as we've come to expect. Swivels intact. Shoulders, you get a swivel here where it connects into the torso, and then a nice ratchet at the shoulders for up and down. And this should stay intact. Nice ratchet. I like it. Swivel here. Elbow on a single pin. gets you 90 degrees. Nothing for the wrist. You get a little bit of a tilt, which I'm actually okay with. I like a wrist swivel, don't get me wrong, but I don't like it when they don't have the hinge here on the wrist. So I'm not giving them a pass, I'm just saying. Same for the other side. And waist swivel gets a little beat up in places, but it can get you, I think, enough to make a statement. Universals for hips, but they're non-ratcheted and they're a little loose. Not insanely loose, but just not as tight as you would like. The ratchets would have been better spent probably down here in the hips as opposed to the shoulders. Double jointed knee, getting you the full spread. Oh, these things come around. It's a nice little extra touch. And we get a toe tilt and no rocker. So that's a bummer. And that's him. We'll do a size comparison real quick. All the paint looks great. All the reds. Look at all the reds everywhere. You know, it's just par for the course at this point. Got some birthing hips on him, don't he? But all in all, he's not bad. It's just I might have to look into how much he cost, because he is a little fella, and he feels a little, I don't know if dainty is the right word, but it's in the ballpark. So let's do a size comparison. So there he is with Starscream. So he's a little fella. I ain't lying to you. And there they are in robot mode. You know, and that's a good looking set. Very cohesive, very clean. You have to excuse Swoop's wings. I'm trying to make room for weapons and stuff, but you know, if you had the time to put it on a shelf and make it look nice, it wouldn't be a problem. There it is with Starscream. And just because I still got him out, I haven't returned him to my daughter yet. The Hasbro Grimlock. So it really is a good looking set, both in dinosaur mode and in robot mode when it's all said and done. I do feel like it's kind of a combiner thing, you know what I mean? Like you're buying it for, you know, this. You're not buying it for one single bot. You know, you're buying it for this payoff, and this does pay off. Final thoughts wise, this is another one that kind of gets a little further away from the mark. The problems are mainly articulation, and then the fact that the size and, you know, the cost versus the size and what you're getting. The engineering is fairly simple. There's a lot of paint, but the price, I'm not sure, matches all that. And then the articulation, like I wish there was more of a waist swivel, and I wish that there was an ankle rocker. And those two things are kind of inexcusable to me, especially the ankle rocker. So those are big drawbacks for me. But the good news is they're the only real drawbacks for me. On the other hand, sculpt is on the money. He fits in really well with the team for his size. Transformation is not too simple, which I think sometimes is a problem with Swoop, but also, you know, not too complex. Relatively straightforward, just enough to kind of sink your teeth into, but, you know, it wouldn't have hurt it to have a bit more, let's say. But it's just, I think that he's the run of the litter, right? And he has a lot of those runt type qualities, but at the same time, there's plenty of stuff here that works. The paint works, sculpt works, articulation mostly works. So all in all, not a bad piece, especially when you think about him in comparison to the rest of the set. And let's go ahead and do that. So there is the Fall of Cybertron Swoop next to him. And the only thing that really sticks out as something that's lacking is the red on the beak and the shape of the eyes. There's the slag. It looks like he does have the horns up, so I'm sure I've already been corrected by now, but for whatever, there he is. And he's pretty much spot on. I mean, it's crazy just how close. Maybe the red stripes on the knee pads would have been a nice added bonus, and the red stripe, nope, that's there too. Maybe the gray stripe on the foot would have added a bit, but overall, spot on. There's Sludge, and I feel like they still kind of missed the mark with the top of the chest, how wide it is up at the top there, but I think that the overall look they nailed. I mean, they even have like the head of the dinosaur behind the head, and like there's just a lot of things you can tell, a lot of visual cues that were quite important to them when making it. There's Snarl, and while I feel like the toy suffers from the most kind of QC issues, I feel like the likeness is like, I mean, it's basically 100%. It's spot on. Down to even the little red lights in here and in there. Like, amazing. And lastly, Grimlock, and once again, it's pretty much the same thing. All the little design cues, all the little red flowing lights and glowing lights rather, and all that stuff is just all taken into account here. The only thing that I did see that I'm not sure how I feel about it, he has the red stripes across his thigh, whereas his kind of goes down the side. I think this might have looked better, but at the same time, that's a bit more, you know, striking. So I don't know, but either way, it's awfully close. Let's wrap this up. This is a great set. I highly recommend it. There are issues. Snarl has some QC issues. Sludge has some aesthetic issues and some articulation issues. Swoop has some articulation issues. Grimlock and Slag, to me, are the ones that do the best job. And Grimlock's transformation has some issues. But outside of that, I really think it's a glowing set. I'm floored by it, to be honest. Like, it's really just smart and passionate is how I would describe it. Like, there's a lot of really well-made choices here. A few shortcuts here and there, you can catch them if you're looking closely, but for the most part, really well done set. If you are into the Fall of Cybertron aesthetic, I definitely recommend it because it does a great job. Like, there's so much care taken with getting all these little character traits, all these little character visual cues, and trying to really hone them in to the final product here. And I tell you, throw a few labels on this set, you know, and a few Autobot symbols, and I guarantee you'll be extremely happy. They look good in robot mode. They look great in dinosaur mode. You know, when I get sent stuff, a lot of times it's stuff that I'm not planning on buying, so in turn, it's a lot of stuff I'm not planning on reviewing. At the same time, I kind of feel obligated a lot of times to give you guys my opinion on certain high-end figures because I think that's what people expect when you know, from me, is being able to make a decision based on, you know, a more critical analysis, right? But a lot of times it does, like when I get sent stuff, it feels like work. And getting sent 5 things is a ton of work, especially when you plan on releasing them back to back. And you know, I'm doing the therapy stuff. It takes a lot of editing and a lot of pre-planning, to be honest. But this never felt like work because this was a really enjoyable set. And I'm extremely happy I got a chance to take a look at it because I love Fall of Cybertron. Fall of Cybertron is responsible, single-handedly almost, for getting me back into Transformers. Not from a collecting standpoint, just from a mental standpoint, because I'd pretty much written them off since the Bay films and the BotCon experience I had, which was unfortunate. Fall of Cybertron will always have a special place in my heart, and the Dinobots will always have a special place in my heart. I've told you guys before, like I love teams, I love teamwork, I love a team camaraderie. I live for that kind of stuff. So I'm really happy to see the level of care that was invested into this project from Planet X. I've never looked at a Planet X product before. I know they kind of stick to the Fall of Cybertron thing, which I think is a smart move because they're kind of the only fish in the pond, so to speak. I don't collect Fall of Cybertron stuff. I just can't afford to take on another collection at this point. I really can't. But if I were to, these would be first on my list to get. So if you're on the fence, pick them up. I'm not on the fence because I know I can't commit to another collection and then having to track down a Genesis and all. I mean, I can't even fathom it, but they nailed this. Cheers. Planet X, you have my respect. Hopefully I'll come across your products more so in the future, even with the flaws that this set has. And every set is going to have flaws. Every figure is going to have flaws. Nothing's perfect. Not even me. It's really quite a good set. I take my hat off to him. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Doc, I don't know if you heard, but the Oscars are tonight.
I don't really follow that much American cinema.
Well, the Oscars are like America's like pat on the back fest over there in Hollywood.
Yes. Quite aware of what they are.
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio was up for this grizzly
bear.
I
love that Leonardo.
He's up for this grizzly bear role.
Yes.
Well, it's funny because I was walking past a group of young ladies out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking, and they were like, Leonardo can get it. He can get it. Well, I knew what they weren't talking about, and that's an Oscar. I mean, seriously, what does that guy got to do to win an Oscar? I hope he wins one tonight.
Yes.
We're not sure how it shook out, because I'm sure there's somebody already correcting this video telling us he already won or didn't win. But we don't know at this point how it's going to shake out, correct?
We're not looking into the future by any means, no.
We're certainly not. But, I mean, this guy, he plays mentally challenged. He plays a crazy person. He's in the Scorsese movie. He does a historical piece. And now he's growing a beard. And he still can't manage to grow an Oscar. I think he really did have a thumb war with the grizzly bear in that movie.
Yes.
Still no Oscar for the fellow. You know, I just don't know. And the whole thing's kind of, you know, I've been sick recently.
Have you?
And I think maybe it's
You looked a little pale in the face.
I think
cheeks weren't as rosy as normal.
I appreciate you noticing. I think this whole thing has got something to do with it.
Yes.
I woke up Saturday morning, ran down to the bathroom. I poop in the basement.
Yes.
Now that might be strange to some people.
Your wife has spoken to me about that.
I don't like to poop around people.
She
It's a
told
private
me-
thing
Yes, you're a poop phobic.
that I like to be by myself. You know how many times I've pooped in a public place?
Twice.
It actually is twice. It's actually. Have we talked about it?
No, I've discussed this with your wife.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
main concern is when you go on family trips,
Oh,
you don't want to share the potty
No.
with anyone else.
No, I don't want people. It's a whole very biological process.
It's very natural, though.
Yeah, I don't want you smelling what's inside of me. I don't want to smell what's inside of you. Just I give you your space, you give me mine. So I poop in the basement, right? That's the point.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, Doc, God is my witness. It was like a garden hose. It was a mess. Now recently I've put some figures in the bathroom. I'm half worried they're gonna smell like shit. I'm noticing paint chips. It's like X-Transbots did my entire 3 3/4 DC line in there. Anyway, I don't know why I'm bringing it up other than I think that this whole thing has made me kind of ill.
Yes. Maybe this is the stress. You know, anytime your gut flora, you know, is interrupted maybe by something you ate or illness or other bacteria, it can really have a cascade effect over your whole body, up to the way you feel.
I think I just had a lot of embarrassing situations that have revolved around the bathroom. And now bathrooms
Yes.
are a scary place for adults. It's where you notice something's wrong.
Yes.
One time I thought I had an STD, I flipped out.
Yeah.
So I tell you, I know my penis like the back of my hand. Turns out it was a cornflake. Nothing to get upset about. It was fine, just brushed it off. One time, I was at a summer camp. Now my dad wanted me to be like a ball player and all this stuff.
Yes, we've spoken about this before.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. The apple fell from that tree and rolled as far as it could away as quickly as it could. But at this summer camp when we did archery, we did the BB guns and the whole bit, right? And I'll tell you, while we're on the subject of guns, right? I don't have really a dog in that fight, the big American fight of whether we should have guns or not. But you know what I think we should do?
What's that?
Do one of two things. Open carry for everybody. Or take them all away.
Oh.
Like, either, just, you know what I want? I want people on the same playing field. Let me know that everybody's got a gun, and then I won't give you a wedgie when you're an obnoxious individual. Like, and sometimes I just give people wedgies for no reason. I won't give you a wedgie because maybe you'll shoot me.
Yes, it's something an appropriate reaction to a wedgie.
Or I'll give you a wedgie with a clear state of mind because I know nobody will shoot me. Anyway, back to
Perhaps you
summer
should
camp.
run for president, Mr. Skullface.
Maybe I should run for president.
Sounds like a sensible platform.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's run for president.
I like this idea.
So I'm in the bathroom at the camp.
Yes.
Now you had to change
Yes.
for this summer camp. We had to go to the pool, so you had to change.
I'm sorry, you Americans are so modest.
That's true.
You know, in Europe we are naked in front of each other all the time,
Now,
and it's fine. This brings me to an exercise I'd like to do with you.
all right.
All right? I have a body. Please repeat after me.
I have a body,
And my body can be naked,
and my body can be naked,
and it can be good.
and it can be good.
Yes.
I'll tell you something. I better be naked than just wearing like a t-shirt and socks because that's like the worst look for me. So I'm in the bathroom. We're changing. I've never done this before. I never even knew this was a thing. A whole group of men changing in front of one another. And we're talking down to the bare bones, Doc. You gotta get a bathing suit on. You don't wear underpants under that.
Yes.
I'm in first grade. There's middle schoolers in the same locker room with me.
Okay.
I walk in there, this boy, who must have been in middle school, drops trowel immediately. I'm in first grade.
Yes.
My worldview of such things is very narrow. Well, not too narrow. It's not bad, actually. But it's only what I know.
Yes.
I notice it.
The young man's genitalia.
It doesn't look like mine. So I just fixate on it. I'm staring at it because I'm mesmerized by it. Because it's something it could have been a magic dragon in there for all I knew. Something else spectacular, like a walking chair. Just some shit I've never seen before.
Yes.
So anyway, he calls me out in front of everybody. He says, "What are you looking at?" Now everybody's looking at me, looking at this kid's penis. And I was like, nothing.
Well, I think we have a reason for a few more sessions, Mr. Skullface.
Because the little penis thing?
Mr. Skullface, we both know it wasn't little.
It wasn't. The Kraken.